I used the SS focus in Assassin's Creed Mirage to teleport to the roof of a high building, which was pretty cool, and this is just one of the highlights of my 4-hour-long session at Ubisoft Bordeaux. I was invited by Ubisoft to get a behind-the-scenes look at the lead team on this Back to the Roots title and got a lot of thoughts that I will share in this video with no major story spoilers, of course. I started from the very beginning of the game, where we play a younger Basim who spends his days doing simple stealing jobs in Anbar, the town where he grew up in. So the perfect setting for the tutorial. I immediately got to do some parkour, that feels fine, the corner swing is back, the pole vault is a fun addition, and just overall the increased speed makes it feel a bit more fluid compared to the previous titles. Especially in Baghdad, later on in my session, there were some more opportunities, but we've totally seen better and more impressive parkour in the series. Like, I never thought, whoa, this is amazing, they're doing nothing really new, but it's an improvement over Assassin's Creed Valhalla for sure. In the first real mission, I already had to sneak around to knock out guards because you of course don't have the hidden blade yet. I could already whistle, so they would come over to me. I love that we have the eagle vision again, which is now called Thieves' Sense, and you can use it for an unlimited amount of time to highlight enemies, loot and other things in the area. Later on in Baghdad, I could also use the bird again, but I'm just kinda over this mechanic at this point, so I never really used it, which resulted in a way more OG experience. Like, we of course know that Assassin's Creed Mirage started as an expansion for Valhalla, but was quickly turned into a full game. Still though, with that bigger budget and extra development time, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla roots are very clear. You see it thanks to the similar menus, the UI elements, pop-up messages, the notes you find, the petting a cat animation, which is still cute, but straight out of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. These are small things, but having the stealing being the same as doing the advanced assassination from Valhalla, which I actually predicted in a previous video, is just not as exciting. And there are a lot of NPCs that you can pickpocket in Baghdad, and then doing the same QuickTime event I've already done thousands of times in Valhalla is a bit of a drag. Assassin's Creed Mirage will at times just still feel like this beefed up Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion, and I think that's just really good to know going in. But once you get those expectations right, you'll find that there's actually a lot to love here. Like, for one, it just feels really good to have a more traditional Assassin story again. I got flashbacks to playing the Altair memories in Revelations when exploring the surroundings of Alamut, the fortress of the Hidden Ones that's being built at this point in time. It's awesome to walk among hooded figures, see them train, learn more about the Hidden Ones' traditions, and you can also find Easter eggs here that I won't spoil, but it was fun to explore this encampment and do some of the basic trainings yourself. I just hope there's more to it, because the section I played in Alamut was less than an hour long and it felt like I was already nearing the end. We do know that you will return to this camp later on in the story, but I hope there are more mysteries and sort of cool trainings and stuff waiting for us here when we explore this section in the full game. Now, the highlight was totally getting my first sword and dagger. Yes, I'm gonna talk about the combat and way more. Of course, if you like the video so far, leaving a like would be awesome, and subscribe for way more content on Mirage. And of course, I'm doing a giveaway. If you are a subscriber, you can enter via the link in the pinned comment for the Digital Deluxe Edition. Yes, I could test my combat skills against Roshan, our mentor, which was basically the combat tutorial. Like, the game of course has the combat that was introduced with Origins, but they made a ton of impactful changes to make it feel completely unique. Basim's new animations for the light and heavy attack are totally at the center of this, and you got some really cool secret combos that I did not see the game explain, like doing a light attack and then immediately a heavy attack makes Basim do an awesome uppercut. So you can nicely chain moves together, but the biggest difference is that Basim is not a warrior like Eivor, Alexios or Bayek, where every X-swing of Eivor has a huge impact and easily creates an opening for your next attack. In Mirage, your sword hits can easily be blocked or do very little damage, let alone interrupt the enemy. Which makes parrying with your dagger, which feels great by the way more important, because timing this right lets you instantly kill most regular enemies. And I kind of felt like Ezio in his trilogy, where you just stand there and wait for every enemy to strike, only for them to die from your counter attack. It's a really nice blending of the old counter-based combat and a new hitbox-based system. systems introduced in the RPG games. And as someone with 1000 hours in Valhalla, I still had to relearn the combat and think of new ways to be successful, which was awesome. But of course, Assassin's Creed Mirage is a stealth-focused game, and because the combat is more difficult than recent titles, staying hidden and going for those one-hit assassinations always seems like the smart thing to try first. Mirage is bringing back the last known position with a really cool yellow animation, so you know that you can hide and where the enemies will start looking for you, and overall detection of enemies should be more fair and improved compared to Valhalla. But it's mostly the return of the tools though that make this a far better experience. The throwing knives are great to quickly get rid of enemies guarding a building, but you can also use it to break the alarm in an outpost or create smoke with something in the environment, and this makes the enemies an easy target for an assassination. Like, I was surprised by the amount of uses for each tool. Sure, you can use the smoke bomb to run away, but it's also insanely powerful to drop it in a group of enemies and then assassinate a few of them before the effect wears off. And this even works on brute enemies that are immune to damage from their front, so you have to think of these tactics to be successful. Like, it's really cool that all these tools are super handy and kinda crucial in combat as well. Like, sure, the Noisemaker can be used to line an enemy up for a double assassination, but you can also throw it in combat to an enemy, and this can let them run away in fear. Or also here, I used it to be able to assassinate this brute. The tools are so important that I was actively seeking out vendors to restock my inventory, and going to vendors is something I never really did in the RPG games, but it's just nice to get the blow dart, for example, to put an unaware enemy to sleep so I could very easily approach my target. But also here, it's very satisfying to downsize a group that is chasing you by putting the guards to sleep one by one, after which you can easily finish them off with a brutal kill animation. And this is, by the way, me trying to survive a full wanted status, which you can of course see thanks to the notoriety bar in the corner of the screen. I of course had to test this out, and it's pretty great. So if you, for example, fail a pickpocket, quick time event, or loot something while this red icon is displayed and an NPC sees it, or you straight up go kill citizens, you will build up this red bar. Now real quick, of course, just like in most other AZ titles, if you kill too many innocents, it will be game over. So not the best tactic to gain a notoriety. No, but it is pretty impactful. So on level 1, the guards will be more alert and will come and get you if they see you. On level 2, the roofs are not safe anymore, as then the archers are also keeping an extra eye out. But rank 3 means that a mercenary will come to hunt you with a very familiar horn sound that we know from the RPG game. And then you should really be scared, because this enemy is agile, has a ton of health, and can heal themselves mid-combat. So you have to focus on them at all times. Really fun fight. Tools are also super handy here, and it feels great to beat them, which will, by the way, completely remove your notoriety. While other ways to do that is, of course, removing one of the many wanted posters in Baghdad. Now the sad part is that while in Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla we had a lot of different mercenaries, in Mirage there's only this one. So I hope it won't get old fast. And I kind of fear this for the black box missions as well. I only played one and it just wasn't really great. So how the overall progress in Assassin's Creed Mirage works is that you will go collect clues by doing errands for people who might know stuff, or infiltrate outposts to get confidential information. And this will then in the end lead you to the main target who you need to identify in one of these black box missions. And there should be multiple ways to go about this, but everyone I spoke to at the event did the exact same thing. So it's either because those were the most obvious things you would spot when looking around the area, or because those are kind of the only things you can do. Like, it's pretty cool to eavesdrop again and follow someone that has interesting information, but another task has me grab one of these oil jars again to destroy a breakable wall, something I've done way too many times with Eivor. Now, I don't want to spoil too much, of course, like who the target is, but this is important to prove my point. So after doing 3 of these objectives and learning more about the target I was after, I could participate in an auction where I could bid on an item that my target was interested in. Like, I was stealing a lot, so I had a ton of money to buy the item, and then I could make an arrangement with the target. But let's say you don't have enough coins. Then you simply have to grab the item from someone who did buy it, and then you can also make that same arrangement. So I wasted 500 coins here. There's not much of a difference either way. So I already really feared this, but so far these black box missions are very similar to what we saw in the Siege of Paris DLC for Valhalla, although the first mission you do there felt more fleshed out than what I played in Mirage. So I really hope that the others we see in the full game are better. To be fair though, I'm not expecting it. Assassin's Creed Mirage shines when you play around in its impressive sandbox. Baghdad was beautiful, overall the game looks very pretty, like the footage you see here doesn't do it justice. And I haven't even seen the really sizable looking wilderness that surrounds the city yet, as we could not explore that in this session. The stealth focused contracts that you can pick up at a bounty board look like a lot of fun, and some of the tool upgrades that I sadly could not try or show you seemed very impactful. It's actually impressive that the developers were able to make an old school feeling Assassin's Creed with the Valhalla tools and engine, but that is also what is holding this game back from feeling truly like a Unity or Syndicate. Now I do believe that if this game is successful, if Ubisoft sees that fans of the older titles are still out there, that they will give this team the budget and development time that they need to truly have us go back to the golden age of the Assassins and Templars. Maybe that's already the plan, as Ubisoft Bordeaux is moving into a huge new studio next year where they will grow from 450 to 700 people. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like, I'm excited to play more Mirage when it launches on October 5th. I think we're gonna have a great time here, even though there are totally some noticeable flaws. And you probably already spotted the cool outfits I was able to get, right? Damn, they look amazing. I will tell you more about those in a future video, so totally subscribe for that and way more Mirage content that I got coming. Again, got questions? Leave them in the comments. A like on the video would be awesome, and want to see some raw gameplay of Mirage? Check it out by clicking on the screen. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.